Let's look at example 2. This one says write each one in lowest terms. I'm going to tell you the main thing for this section. Factor first, factor first, factor first. Don't cancel anything until you have factored. When we go to reduce something, they have to be exactly the same to reduce, okay, when we're talking about parentheses. Now let's look at the first one. They factored this for us, okay? There's no squares or anything. There's nothing we can do. It's already factored. So what we can do to get it in lowest terms, these two match. The x plus 2 and the x plus 2 can be canceled out. So we're left with x plus 5 over x minus 3. You cannot mark these x's out. That x plus 5 is joined together. You can only get rid of it if you have another x plus 5. When you have a plus or minus in between them, it joins them and makes them one item. Here, this x minus 3, you can only cancel that out if you have another x minus 3. That's it. You can't just cancel these x's and get a negative 5/3. That doesn't work. Let's look at the next one. Factor first. The top of this would factor into a minus 3 times a plus 2. The bottom is going to factor into a plus 3 times a plus 2. Okay, factor the top first, then go to the bottom, factor the bottom. You want to do it separately. Then after you've factored both, then you look at it. You say, okay, is there anything that matches? Well, these don't match. One's minus, one's plus. The a plus 2's do, though, and we can cancel this out. Then we're left with a minus 3 over a plus 3. And remember, those are joined. A minus 3, you need another a minus 3 to cancel that out. A plus 3, you cannot cancel it unless you have another one. So that would be the reduced form. Let's try part C. On the top, that's difference in squares. That's going to be y plus 2 and y minus 2. On the bottom, there's no squares, but remember step number 1, I haven't been saying it out loud, but we should always check first, can I take anything out? I can take a 2 out of this, and when I do, remember to put it in the front. And if I divide this by 2, I'm left with y in that parenthesis. If I divide this by 2, I'm left with plus 2. Now that I have them both factored, now I can go back and I can do some canceling. You never cancel until you factor. So these y plus 2's are going to cancel out here. And then I'm left with y minus 2 over 2. Remember that y minus 2 is joined. You cannot cancel out that y minus 2 unless you have another y minus 2. So our final answer is just that y minus 2 over 2. Now let's look at D and E. For this one, I need to factor that. That's difference in cubes. They cubed an x and they cubed a 3. So the formula says if it's minus, you do the first one minus the second one, x minus 3. Square the first one. X times x is x squared. Put a plus sign. Multiply them together. 3 times x is 3x. Put a plus sign. Square the last one, and that would give me 9. 3 squared is 9. Now on the bottom, I don't have to factor that. It's already done. X minus 3, there's no squares, nothing we can take out, so it's done. Then after I factor top and bottom, then I want to look at it and say, okay, these match. I can cancel them out. So my lowest terms is going to be x squared plus 3x plus 9. Let's look at this last one. Now this one's a little interesting. I can't take anything out of the top. I can't do anything. I look at the bottom. I can't do anything to that. There's no squares. What they want you to do is to mark this 8 out and reduce the 8 over 16. But you cannot because that 8 is tied to that k. It's 8 plus k. So this one was already in lowest terms. There's nothing else I can do to it. That would be the final answer.